Okay, I'm a pre-market plan coming into market open. So as of right now, um, QQQ and the SPY is sitting under its previous day low, right? You can clearly see some relative strength here on Apple. Apple did sweep its previous day low. Now it's sitting above it. So if we can reclaim, right, this weekly level, break and retest over this to the upside, that is a very valid trade. Like I said, I'm not really looking to short, but a pop and fade off this weekly, support, turn resistance, like that's a valid play. But I'm looking for a long over this. So if, Apple can get a break and retest like it did yesterday with good displacement to the upside, I like it. Um, you can see here, NVIDIA is approaching our key level on the weekly, right? If the market stays heavy, I'm expecting these names to stay heavy. Going to be a little patient here on NVIDIA. I just don't want to get caught in a fake out, but I'm open to both sides, right? This 184.50, this is a big hold, right? So we were respecting it very well in the pre-market. So I'm looking for either like a good rally, right, pullback, long retest, or a short under this, right? Like I said, if we fall under this weekly, that is now a leg lower. And Tesla really not sitting anywhere near my key levels. Um, I am open to shorting under this 423.15 if the market stays heavy, just because it'll be outside of a channel. And this is a big RR trade to the downside if it plays out. But really, my main watch, like I said, I'm not really looking to short Tesla as long as we are above 410. But really, my main watch coming into market open really is NVIDIA, right, and Apple, right? If Apple stays under 247.30, I'm hands off. But I'm really looking for this break and retest on the reclaim. But during the pre-market, this weekly level has been acting very good as resistance. So I like that. If we get a breakout, it's just extra confirmation. And then nothing on AMD, right? You can see we did pull back. We respected this 209.25. That's beautiful. You can see we are in this range. Nothing for me here, right? So really looking for that breakout above 227.30. Okay, about 10 seconds till market opens. Gonna be patient here. Like I said, SPY and the Qs are both under their previous day low, right? So continuation lower is expected. I'm gonna let this first 2-minute candle develop. Just gonna be patient here. A pop and fade off this 247.30 on Apple is a valid short. So market just open, gonna be patient. Very open to a short on NVIDIA. The bigger the displacement, the better, and I feel comfortable right on that retest. That looks good. Like I said, I'm open to either side on this on the video. Beautiful, right? This is weekly, right? We just gave this up. That's what we wanted to see. So obviously, just waiting for that pullback. That looks good, right? Bigger the displacement, the better. And sometimes that's part of the game, Sometimes you don't even get a pullback. So we'll see. Clearly some relative weakness here on the video compared to Apple and Apple, right? Apple I like. Let me see. Right, relative strength here on Apple. 15-minute looks good. There's a big wick showing buyers. Very aggressive. Nice. Like I said, Tesla's kind of nowhere for me. I'm open to shorting under this. I don't want to, but you can see buyers are stepping in, defending this. We're still intact to the upside. NVIDIA losing this weekly level was a big loss, right? So let's see what Apple ends up doing. Looks really good right now. Clearly relative strength here. Like I said, for the first time in a while, SPY and the Qs have opened up under the previous day low, right? So we can kind of expect some continuation lower. And if we break under those pre-market lows, we can definitely see more downside for sure. NVIDIA's gone, right? Sometimes that's how it is. You don't really get that retest. So, but I do like this relative strength here. And Tesla, it's still sitting above its previous day low, and it never swept that liquidity as well. So, short under this would be valid, expecting some continuation under the previous day low. I've been saying this all week, right? If we give up this 184.50, this is a weekly level, right? This is a big level that we gave up. So, us falling through this, that's not a shocker to me. Not one bit. This was holding NVIDIA up, right? So this is why, I mark out my levels accordingly, daily, weekly, right? Those break and retests off a weekly level, that's a breaker structure. That's a big deal. So, right, we can't be surprised at this downside. I've been talking about 184.50 for about 2 weeks now. And sometimes those sell-offs are so strong, you don't get a retest. Good displacement here on Tesla. Like I said, I'm open to shorting it if the market wants to stay heavy. If If QQQ breaks under 592.86, which is also the pre-market low, we can definitely see some downside. Next key level on NVIDIA is this 179.45. Nothing here on Tesla, right? I'm gonna need more displacement, but Q's is about to break pre-market low, which is corresponding with 592.86, which is the key level. So, and SPY's pre-market low is 654.55. So if we break through both of those, we can definitely see some more downside. Like I said, right on. All right, so Q's just broke pre-market low. All right, this was too aggressive. Like, I don't think anyone caught this. This was like right off the open. Tesla I like, but I need more displacement. This candle is a big deal. I want to see what this candle does. Right, we can get a bit more displacement than a retest. I like it. You can clearly see Apple's holding up a bit. Like I said, right, a pop and fade off this is a valid trade. I just didn't want to short this, but that's a valid trade. Right, now we just wait for a retest here on Tesla. Right, never got a retest. Right, displacement's the most important entry criteria. We'll see. We get that pullback. But look at Apple. Apple's holding up. It stands out to me. Market's dropping pretty heavy. So maybe one of those days where you kind of just don't get a retest on some names. Market's only been open for 7 minutes, so we're being patient. If NVIDIA falls under this 179.45, there's nothing in its way to the downside. All right, this is what I'm looking for on Tesla. You know, if I can get that, we'll see. Just complete melted to the downside on the video. Right. Very unfortunate, right? We've been looking for the setup for a while. I've been speaking on this for a while. Sometimes you don't get them, right? Sometimes you don't get them. This is where traders let FOMO kick in to see the downside. I am just playing off my levels. Whatever happens, happens. Like I said, this was a valid, pop and fade off this weekly on Apple. Just not really a name I was looking to short up here. Apple falls under 241.30. I'm very open to shorts for sure. SPY's trying to hold its pre-market low. All right, key level being respected here on the video. It's gonna be patient. I would like a bit more of a deeper pullback here on Tesla. So we'll see. Need a bit more of a deeper pullback. Market is staying heavy, so I like that. Patience pays. I need to read the price action here before I look to short this name. QQQ is retesting the previous day low. I'm sorry, the pre-market low and rejecting. Looks good here on Tesla, but need more of a pullback. Deeper the pullback, the tighter the risk. Not gonna FOMO into that. Seen a bouncer on the tech names, but not on the overall market, on the SPY and the Qs. So those stay heavy. I like it. I just need a deeper pullback here on Tesla. If I don't get it, that's fine. I mean, definitely could look to take this. Risking right off this 423.15, but price is at 421. My stop loss would be candle close. So I'm always thinking about risk prior to entering my trade. Right? If I enter a short off this, it's valid. Like I have to sit in the trade, but I need a deeper pullback. I'm not going to force this. Each their own. Especially a name like Tesla, price came up to 422. Stop loss would be 423.66 maybe. So And I'm liking this on the video. This is also low a day, so we get a break and retest into this 179.45. I do like it. Never got that full retest here on Tesla. To me, just not worth the risk there. I need a deeper pullback. Nothing on AMD, middle of the range. If NVIDIA starts to chop around, I wouldn't be too surprised. But the trend is your friend, right? This wants to fall lower. I'm just going to look to short this thing lower. Right, couldn't enter that, right? But practice good habits. That's a pretty big stop loss for me, so I didn't like that. That was a very aggressive entry. Yeah, overall market is very heavy right now. So this is where, the downside kicks in, and a lot of traders, kind of FOMO into positions, seeing downside. I am sitting on my hands and I am relaxing. So, I mean, and this is textbook. If you look at this on the pre-market, right, we broke it, we turned it into resistance pre-market, so pop and fade off this was very valid. But you saw when market open, right, Apple had a lot of relative strength compared to all these other names. So I would say the only thing I'm watching now is really just NVIDIA. A break under this 179.45, and it's the low day. That's a really good confluence. And as we know, if price breaks through the lower day, it is more likely to continue lower. So, and there's nothing in its way to the downside. Tesla still sitting above 410. I was open to a short here. I just didn't get a deep enough pullback, right? I've taken trades like this before where, I don't need it to pull back to my key level on the dot, but the deeper the pullback, the better. Like I'd rather enter somewhere up here, right? So, I've entered trades like this before where I enter here. And remember, I have to give this room. So my stop loss is like realistically up here, right? So that's a lot of risk if I'm entering further away from my key level. So to each your own. But this was perfect, right? Displacement, candle closure, we pop back. But to me, that just wasn't a deep enough pullback, at least on a name like Tesla, right? AMD, Apple, I'll take that shot because they're slow movers on the underlying, but Tesla can cook you. We know that much. So we see here in the video, respected this 179.45 perfectly, right? Pull back, 5 stepped in. We were pushing back up to the upside. So we'll see. If we pull all the way back up to 184.50, I would probably reevaluate this. I don't think we will, but if we did, I mean, that's pretty much more than a 50% retracement. At that point, that's a V-shaped recovery. So I don't know if I would really want to short up here. I would have to see like a strong bearish momentum candle for entry confirmation to short off this 184.50, right? That'd be a very big V-shaped recovery. We're pretty much back at the high day, right? If that's the case, I will look forward to retest this level and go higher, but we'll see. 15-minute, you can see that buyers are really stepping in aggressively here on Tesla. Like Tesla will get to the downside, but we can really start kicking in on the downside once Tesla breaks 410. Once Tesla gets under 410, we can definitely look for that. Like I said, I was open to this short. I just never got a deep enough pullback. NVIDIA is really the main watch here right now. Apple's very heavy to the downside. Right, that's the pre-market low. So you just saw a breaking retest on, I'm sorry, the previous day low. This 245.56 on Apple. I don't trade off previous day highs and lows, but you can see prices continuing lower. And then that is the pre-market low that it's holding. So it's the key level to go. I mean, this is your tightest entry, right? Your best risk right there. Right, look at that. Pop and fade off this weekly, turns of resistance, right? Trust the key levels. And I didn't miss this trade. If you look at my pre-market plan video, you'll see on Apple in between 247.30 and 241.30, I had that as a no trade zone, right? I was not looking to short off this, right? We're still intact to the upside. So I don't really care about this. I really skip that trade. Big downside note on the video. You can see we're consolidating a little bit. Right, past 2 days. We'll see. It's still very early. Um, but if we end the day under this 184.50, right, that is it's a big difference there. So we'll see. Got to change something moving forward. All right, big bounce here, recovery on the overall market. SPY is recovering the previous day low. I'm sorry, the pre-market low very well. It's forming a 15-minute candle. Looks really good. Q's is still pulling back into this pre-market low and rejecting it. This 592.86, which is also a daily support level, now turn resistance. So we shall see. It was a trader I came across a very long time ago when I was in college. I forgot his name, but what I learned from him, he was like, never chase the morning downside, right? Never chase it. Like just if it's just straight downside in the morning, you will lose more than you will win chasing that. Um, so I just want to let this play out here, right? These bounces you see on these three names, um, we're seeing a pretty big bounce here from the lower day on Qs and SPY. So a little bit of divergence with Qs and SPY. SPY looks a little bit more um, buyer heavy stepping in, but Qs is perfect break and retest under this pre-market low as well. So a lot of downside here on the Qs for sure. Under previous day low, under pre-market low, right? My main watch here really is just NVIDIA. There's none here for me on Apple. We can see Tesla played out well, just didn't get a deep enough pullback. I doubt it. Well, actually, no. Let me see. I don't know. It's kind of some ways away, but remember our game plan on, Tesla was seeing how strong buyers defended this 410. If we some way somehow pull back down here, I'm very open to seeing if we can defend this 410 on Tesla. Give you a little visual, right? I broke this down, right? Look at this 410. Like 410 has been keeping Tesla up, right? If we lose this, right? Now we can see some continuation lower, right? So this morning downside today, I don't really care about. But look at that, right? Look at what 410's been doing. We held this push all the way up to 470. We talked about that. So really for me, right, 445 and 410 are really just the main key levels here on Tesla, at least for me. Like I said, on the higher time frame, we're consolidating, right? And then going on here, AMD. All right, look at that. Like I don't think Tesla's ready to, as long, I never come into the day order bias, but based on the higher time frame, right? As long as Tesla is above 410, like this thing is still intact to the upside. It's still intact to the upside. Now, if we get a break and retest with this 423.15, I think I'm hands off just because that is a channel. Wow, big recovery here. Wow. SPY and the Qs, big bounce here. Definitely some divergence here on the SPY and the Qs. SPY has a lot more buyers showing their hands on the intraday. Right? Beautiful hold here. This is what I love to see. Um, if NVIDIA some way somehow climbs way back up here, I don't think I really want to short that name. That's pretty much near the high day. That is a V-shaped recovery, right? So if we reclaim this, I like it. Now NVIDIA doesn't move as much dollar amount wise like Tesla does on the intraday, but right, that's something I want to teach you guys. Like if ever we have like a strong morning sell-off, don't chase it. Remember, cash is always a position. Don't chase it. I've gotten cooked more than I've made money, chasing that morning downside. We're seeing a big recovery here. SPY is pretty much pushing up near the high of day. So if we get a retest here on Tesla to the downside, I think I'm gonna just pass on that as long as we're above 410. Just not really a name I'm looking to short. Right, intraday, we're bearish, right? On the intraday, we're bearish, but we've already zoomed out here. Wow, this 15-minute candle on, let me just show you. Right, that's a big, if we can get back over this, right? Look at that. SPY is rallying right now. That looks really good. Right? If someone took this to short, that was a decent play, right to the downside. That paid you very well. This is part of the higher time frame structure, right? I like that more. I will be a little hesitant, longing over that just because we're back into that channel on the higher time frame, right? Remember, Tesla is consolidating. We are not trending. Let's make that very clear. Tesla is not trending, right? Consolidation, that's expected. We just had that big sell-off, right? At open, we're consolidating, and then going on, right? We went from 184 to 179, right? Big sell-off there. SPY is almost at the high of day. What a recovery. That looks good. QQQ, not that far away either. If we get over this high day on both these names and we see upside, we could really be looking at a gap fill play because we gapped down, right? We did gap down, so we do have a gap to fill. And SPY is literally at the high of day now. What a recovery bounce there. So you can see the overall market is falling. So I'm sticking to my game plan. I'm not looking to short Tesla off this. If that sets up, I'll pass. As long as we're above 420, I'm sorry, 410, just not looking to short this name. I'm gonna go with the overall higher time frame, right? By doing that, it's a higher probability setup. I don't know if we'll get it on Apple, but if we can get over this 243, 247.30, man, I like that. Man, I like that. Big resistance here. Ish played as resistance during the pre-market, right? A break and retest above that, a weekly level. Buyers are saying, I'm here. Buyers are definitely saying I'm here. So, right, patient pace. I would love to see a reclaim here on Tesla, right? And I hope this makes sense, right? Like, it's always easy to say, in hindsight, but the reason, I'm not taking this short off of this, not only am I, we're sitting above 410, right? That's just my analysis. This is easy to say when the trade does work, but you got to know a name like Tesla, right? We know Tesla can move against you and you can be down very big. My stop loss is like a candle closure above this zone, right? So that candle can close like up here or something, right? I have to wait for the candle to close. So look at the risk to reward, right? My risk is way like about here, right? So entering down here, my stop loss is way up here. That is not a good RR, right? Don't practice bad habits. Like I said, I don't need it to pull directly into my key level, but the closer the better, right? The deeper the pullback, the better. Remember that. The deeper the pullback, the tighter your risk. Pretty nice here on Apple, right? Even if someone would have took off this key level, like a pop and fade, you would have got a break to the lower day. But this is big, right? Intraday matters because what we just did is we just reclaimed the previous day low. We swept that liquidity. Buyers are now back over the previous day low. That's what I want to see, right? Buyers are still saying, I'm in control. Look at this V-shaped recovery. If we break over this weekly, I got to take my shot, right? Because now we just reclaimed, right? The previous day low will be over the high of day, right? And a break and retest over a weekly level. Those are a lot of confluences that showing buyers are here. I'm willing to take that risk. That's a good shot. And SPY and Qs look really good. Now, I don't really trade the Qs much or SPY just because it doesn't move that much on a dollar amount. I rather just save my trades to get bigger returns on tech names. But I'm open to a 0 DTE on Qs if we can get over 5.9, 5.95, 85. Right, I'm very open to that. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Right, that's a gap fill play. Price action looks clean. If we can get over this, I'm open to that. Right, above the high day, gap fill play. Clearly a V-shaped recovery. Buyers are showing their control. Right, look at that. That looks really good on the Qs. So I am open to a play above this. I haven't touched AMD in so long. Actually, that's a lie. I did trade it last Friday, but still, you can see, like, this is what I mean, zoom out. Like, there's nothing here on AMD. Like, it's dead smack in the middle of the previous day high, the previous day low, and it's in the middle of a channel, right? This is low, so let's probably avoid those because, I mean, you get this price action, right? There's no continuation there, right? There's nothing there. Even Tesla is pretty much chopping around. Like I've said, ever since last week, Monday and Tuesday, Tesla really hasn't done much. It really hasn't done much, right? We did get this break, note to the downside a little bit because the market was heavy. Market's recovering very well right now. But right, this is just Tesla. Like it's just, just Tesla's just consolidating, right? You got to understand the conditions of a stock before you trade it, right? Like let's look at Tesla. Let's go on the 1 hour. Actually, let's go on the daily. Right, I broke this down. Like, does that look like we're trending? Not at all, right? Like, let's go to a naked chart. Like, we're not doing anything, right? Now, look what happens down here, right? That's why I said as long as we're above 410, I'm bullish on this name. Look at these wicks on the daily. Every time we get down here in the zone, buyers just step in very aggressively, right? Very aggressively. So there's like really nothing here. Right, on the intraday, you look at this and like, oh, this is a good short, but yeah, it swept the previous day low, right? And we're starting to hold above it, but other than that, like there's nothing on Tesla, right? 445 and 410 are really our key levels here. Really our key levels. And then today, Tesla opened dead smack in the middle of the range, right? So SPY, really good recovery on the intraday, to be honest, really good recovery. Yeah, might be the only thing I'm really sitting here waiting on is really ideally Apple, right? If you like read this with me, right? I mean, if we get back above here, that's a V-shaped recovery, right? We've already, made a low and came back all the way up to the high day. That is great. And then look how this looks on the 15. That's why I always recommend like, trading on the higher time frame as well as the lower time frame on the intraday. Right? Look at these two 15-minute candles. Look at this weight. Buyers are stepping in very aggressively here. Right? What a recovery. Right? I really want to see this, right? Nothing in this way. This is still intact to the upside. Wow, what a break on SPY and the Qs. Wow, beautiful. So both SPY and Qs are pretty much now green on the intraday. Um, SPY just ripped through the high day. It just ripped through the high day. So you see this is following. If SPY can reclaim this 659.10, which is also correlating with the previous day low, I mean, that is one, we already filled the gap if we do that. And two, we could definitely just start seeing upside. I mean, look at SPY. Look at that, right? Just reclaim this on the 15-minute. That's huge, right? Look at this recovery, right? We just pushed all the way back up here. Now we got a 15-minute candle above the high day. We reclaim above this. I mean, that's beautiful. Like I said, there's more buyers right now on SPY than it is Qs, so a little bit of a divergence, a little bit, but still Qs had a good recovery. It's sitting at the near the high day, so just being patient here, right? But zoom out always to get the bigger picture. If you're confused, like we just zoomed out on Tesla, and you can see why we've had crappy price action, right? We're not doing anything on the daily. We're not trending. So I'm sorry, Tesla's been pretty much a crappy one, to be honest. You can see, I hope you understand why I'm saying this is my main watch. I mean, we pushed from what 247 down to 244, and then pretty much a V-shaped recovery. The confluence here is amazing. If we get above this high of day and over this weekly resistance turn support, and we reclaim the previous day low, like how do you not take your shot on that? This is something like if it doesn't go my way, this is a good loss. Overall market is bouncing, recovering. This looks really good. Let's see. Yeah, look at the open interest here on the 250 calls, right there, 36,000, right? Compared to puts. I mean, that's, yeah, like I said, I was not looking short this name. Like Apple was still intact to the upside. Looks really good. Hmm, just an observation. If Tesla reclaims this, I'm not taking that just because we'll be back in that channel. Beautiful on the spine, the Qs. That looks really good. This is really my main watch right now. Just so you can see what I'm looking at on the Qs, right? Clean price action. I mean, that looks good, right? Look at that. We get over this. Oh man, look at this beautiful break and retest over this 592.86. This is why you don't really chase the downside, right? When we just melt right at open. So Qs looks really, really good. Really, really good. SPY's just gone. I think SPY's can fill the gap, to be honest. Would love to see Qs get over this high day, but I mean, look at this V-shaped recovery. Beautiful. NVIDIA's already exhausted this move, right? I mean, that straight downside move. Um, it's very early in the session, but I hope, right, we can get a daily candle back above this. But if not, like if we get a daily candle into this 184.50, right, coming into tomorrow, I'm looking for, a pop and fade off of this. And then, right, pay attention on the intraday. We broke this. We never retested. So a pop and fade off, that's very valid. The pop and the fade is our retest, right? Break, retest. So we never got a retest off this, right? You can see why we already knew we were going to be hands off on Tesla. There's nothing going on here. All right, zoom out, get a clear picture. That will always help you. Remember, we are trading off the higher time frame. We're just using the lower time frames for precision entries, right? I'm trading off the weekly here. I'm trading off the daily here. I'm just using a 2-minute for a sniper entry. So I can only imagine how this looks, for those like trading on the 1 minute and so focused in there, right? Not that far away. No, Apple's a slow one, but this is a really big recovery here on Apple. Crazy, right? What gives me confidence and convictions in my trades is, it took me a very long time. Like when I was in college, I would just sit all weekend and just go through hundreds of and literally I'm not being dramatic when I say hundreds of tickers, right? Just random tickers I can think of, and I would just mark out key levels, right? And it's very important to get screen time and reps with that because you are taking trades off these key levels. Someone once told me garbage in, garbage out. So if you're marking terrible key levels and you take a trade off that and you lose, that's on you, right? So I say all that to say like nothing gives me more confidence and conviction seeing right these key levels in real time, play out. I mean, look at this pullback hold on 179.45 on the video after a downside melt, right? That's beautiful. I love to see that. Why? Because now if I get a break and retest under that, I have confidence in this. This is the key level to short off of. All right, let me show you what I was looking at on the video. I mean, look at that. That's beautiful. But all right, if we fall under right this, there's nothing in its way to the downside, right? There's nothing in its way. So if we just close in between these two, easy, right? No trade zone, break and retest to the downside here, pop and fade here, or break and retest over this. And remember, right? This is still a gap fill, right? That is still a gap fill play. Don't forget that. Nothing on AMD. We're almost there. My pre-market plan video, I said if we break under 169 here on Palantir, I'm definitely looking to short this thing 100%. 100%. It's a slow grinder back up here on the video, right? You just want to see that hold a little bit, right? I mean, that was a beautiful hold. The contracts would have paid as much if you would have went long off this, just due to right choppiness. It's a Tuesday, so data's not really a thing, but as you know, on options, you're gonna get paid more on those premiums when momentum kicks in. So sitting through all this contract, especially like a name like Nvidia, it definitely wouldn't move that much. But right from 170.70 up to 182.12, right? That's a solid move. It's a solid move. Straight down equals straight up. Remember that. Now, of course, I wouldn't. As long as we're under 184.50, I'm short bias now, right? Very short bias. Yes. But this just shows you the power of key levels, right? This was a falling knife, right? 2, 4, 6, 8. And as soon as we come into here, buyer step up aggressively. I mean, wow. I mean, the spot is crazy right now on the 15-minute. Crazy recovery. Yeah, spot's definitely gonna fill the gap today. Crazy recovery. Buyers are still in control of this. Don't let that little morning sell off scare you. Look at Qs. I mean, look at the recovery here on Qs. I mean, that's beautiful. Literally a V-shaped recovery. You got the break and retest over this, right? You could have played off that target in the high day. As long as we're under that previous day low, I wouldn't have. But seeing right resistance turn into support, and the objective is, you're pretty much playing the gap fill. It's beautiful. I mean, this is what you want to see for sure, right? Beautiful. Look at this. See, stuff like this gets me excited, right? Like I said, if we reclaim this 423.15, we're still in a channel, and then we'll be dead smack in between the previous day low and the previous day high. I'm not looking to trade this name Tesla, right? There's just no continuation. I'm not looking to short this either. But what I also want you to learn from this is just like read in the intraday price action. Remember yesterday, I took my one shot and I took it on the best. I took it on a candle like this. Yeah, it was literally a candle like this, and I got my retest. I was one and done. But on the intraday, right? Understanding market conditions. Like, does this look like good conditions? Does this look like, oh, Tesla looks like it's gonna trend? No, not at all, right? So to the upside, to the downside, don't really care. And then we're stuck in between these two, right? So we're in between, we're on a channel on the higher time frame, and we're in between the previous day high and the previous day low. There's nothing there. Right? This is what we're waiting for, Apple. I mean, look at this recovery. Golly, look at that recovery. That's beautiful. Right? If we reclaim this on Tesla, doesn't matter to me. That just makes me happy. At least on the intraday, that we're still moving higher. But I hope this breakdown in real time made sense. Like, shorting this was just a low probability, right? As long as we're above 410, Tesla's holding up, right? Tesla is holding up, right? I don't care for a break and retest over that for obvious reasons. This is my no trade zone, middle of the range, dead smack. Look at Apple. Apple looks great. The recovery here on SPY and the Qs is remarkable, to be honest. Now, I'm not just going to chase Apple, right? This is still, weekly term resistance. We know what I'm looking for, right? A strong displacement and then the retest. That's what I'm looking for, right? Breaking base, I don't want those. Something that I came up with just due to my own, stats is weak breakout equals fake out, right? When you get a weak breakout, which is also a breaking base, when we break above it and we sit above it, that's called a breaking base. Those are really like just fake outs, liquidity grabs, orders getting filled, and then we reverse, right? Right. But this is saying, okay, buyers are they're here. Buyers are 100% here. You can see there's still sellers sitting up here, right? Every time we push into this, right? There's still sellers sitting up here. And then after all this, you pretty much get a 50% recovery here on Tesla. Like, momentum's died out. We're 10 minutes away from being an hour into the session. Like, it's just not looking short off this. Absolutely not. Honestly, the best looking name out of all really is SPY and the Qs. Like, these just have the cleanest price action. Really, the SPY and the Qs. For the sake of like market structure, I just want us to reclaim this 423.15 here on Tesla. But other than that, like, right, today was pretty much a cash day, at least for me, right? And we were able to break that down together, right? you see why I was not looking to short Apple, right? We had these sell-offs. This had relative strength. Look at this V-shaped recovery, right? As long as we're above 241, not really looking to short this name. It's moving very well with the market. SPY is about to reclaim the previous day low. That's amazing. That's exactly what you want to see. And we just filled the gap. That's beautiful. That's what you want to see. Same thing for the Qs. Same thing for the Qs. Look at that. We've already broke the high day. Look at that. Look at that. Love it. That's why you don't chase the morning downside, right? Let everything play out. Patience pays. Don't chase and get burned. This looks good. I'm really looking for Apple, right? I love this recovery on Apple. And honestly, decent price action. We know how Apple moves, so this is decent price action. I remember yesterday we got that break and retest over this later into the session, like around 8 o'clock. So just gonna be patient here on Apple. SPY and the Q's about to break simultaneously. Both alerts are about to go off, which is pretty cool. Just needs SPY to break this 659.10. There we go. Beautiful. This is a previous daily reclaim. I mean, this is amazing. So nothing here on Tesla today. As you can see, crappy price action. Beautiful hold here on 179.45. But as long as we are below this weekly on NVIDIA, I am bearish bias now, right? I need to see this. Like, this looks good. I really want to see that. And look at this hold. Break retest off this 592.86. I mean, that's beautiful. If you took a 0 DTE here, that's more than 100% return. Just targeting the high day alone. Just level to level. As of now, for me, it's really just really a cash day. I would say the main thing that I'm watching is, I guess, just Apple, right? You can see we are stair stepping higher, right? The dips are getting bought up, right? We are stair stepping higher, so we'll see. I mean, look at this trend line hold on the channel hold on NVIDIA. That's exactly what you want to see. So typically when I'm playing pullback long entries, there is no time frame on that because it could take as long as it needs. So typically how I play them is, once we start to form a channel, I just sit in this channel. And then once we break out of it, I scale out like roughly 80 to 90%. And then I'll see if my runners can, do a lot of the heavy lifting. So if you took a bounce off this, right, this is a very valid trade. It's a slow grind back up, but we are moving back up. But look at the recovery on all these names. Look at Tesla. Beautiful, right? Don't chase that morning. See, that's beautiful. Exactly what you want to see. Like I said, I'm not looking to long off this name. This is a no trade zone, dead smack in the middle of the range. But for the sake of structure, I'm very happy to see this. Just this reclaim moving higher. I just want to see somewhere in the week that 445 break. That's all I want to see on Tesla. Let's see. And these contracts only $1 out the money. Out the money isn't too bad. Really watching Apple here. I'm not even gonna force this QQQ one. The only time I really want to short to 0 DTE is a Friday, but Q's just looks way too good. I mean, beautiful recovery on the market. I mean, look at all this, right? This is amazing. Pretty much an hour into the session. I'm still on my hands. Still haven't really taken anything, but yeah. Really just watching Apple. I mean, this is really my main one that I'm looking for, to be honest. Just look at this hold, right? I mean, this is beautiful. Enter down here. I mean, look at that. That's beautiful. Apple stair stepping higher. Now, the thing about Apple is I am aware this is a very slow mover on the underline. So if I do take this trade, I can't expect this to move like Tesla or anything like that. You get what I mean? So got to be patient with a name like Apple. Have to. I don't want to jump the gun. I mean, I want to say, well, now we have red voter news at 9:20. I was going to say, like, for me personally, if I'm taking a break and retest off a weekly level, I typically try and look for possible swing trades off a weekly, right? Remember, you're trading off the higher time frame, but we do have red voter news, so I don't want to be a part of that. But you can see, right? Every time we get up here, sellers are stepping in, and then look at Qs. That's beautiful. We can get something like this. I wouldn't mind a quick little scalp. I would not mind that at all. Look at Qs. I mean, look at that. That's amazing. Beautiful. right? Patient pays. Remember, cash is a position. I've taken 0 trades, but nice setups, really nice setups. A lot of people see that morning downside and they just want to jump the gun or FOMO kicks in. But I mean, this is amazing. So both the Qs and the SPY filled its gap and reclaimed over the previous day low, which is crazy. Talk about a V-shaped recovery. I mean, man, and SPY is way stronger than the Qs, right? That's why we avoid names. I mean, clearly, right? Like I said, as long as we are above 410, that is holding Tesla up. We are not looking to short this name. Beautiful recovery here on the video, right? Today's just like a tape watching type day, right? Not every day's a cash day. We had some good opportunities last week. So far, the past 2 days, Monday and today, really, really not much. But we wait for our setups to come to us and we get paid for it, right? Patience pays. I would love a pullback here. Like I would not mind scalping this just to the swing high, right? Like just to the swing high or high day. It's a 0 DTE. I would not look to get greedy on that. But right, you can see we're trending now on Apple. Just looking for continuation. Beautiful reclaim here on Tesla. Now, see what I said? Like, even if we reclaim this while I'm not looking to go long, like look at the price action. We're in a range, right? There's no continuation on Tesla. Now, the safest days to play ranges, if you want, is like Mondays and Tuesdays, right? Because you don't really have to worry about theta. But don't practice bad habits. Just stay away from them in general. But like if you took this trade, right, you really don't have theta to worry about, especially with weekly cons. But we want momentum. We want follow through, continuation. The entire point of the break and retest is continuation. And you have to know the pros and cons to your system. And the cons to the break and retest is ranges and channels, right? Because why you're not getting continuation on your plays. That's the entire point. So, right, we want to stay away from low probability conditions such as right channels. Nice recovery here on the video. I mean, that's just beautiful to be honest. Most likely not going to take a trade on this name, but for the sake of structure, I would love to see right a daily close, right? Like right now, I'm sure on the daily, like this is a big wick, right? But it's still a red candle. Actually, let's look at that. Right? Like I said, this is a big wick, red candle. I'm already knowing. So I would love for us to get back above this, just for the body of the candle to close above it. That's all I care about. Look at these pullbacks and Apple holding out. Look at that. It just sucks. Apple's a slow mover on the underline, but looks really good. And that looks really good. I am watching Apple here, right? It's a good confluence. Swept. I mean, we got back over previous day low, previous day high, breaking this. Just want to see what we do here. Like I said, I need a proper displacement candle before I take this trade. See, that's why. AMD, nothing. Yeah, you can see, right? Like if you're ever unsure, like if you're just sitting in between the previous day high and the previous day low and the pre-market high and the pre-market low, you know going into that session, you are not touching that name. That's the best advice I can give you. See, we're bullish right now on Apple. It's just a slow mover, right? It's a slow mover. Like, look at that. We're trending. It's just so maybe a cash day for me, most likely. Like I said, I just need like a strong displacement candle on Apple. I got the market in my favor moving. See all these sellers that just stepped in up here, right? Like that's something I'm looking at. But look over here to the left, how it was support, we broke, turned it into resistance. Get me? See, I need like a bigger breakout. And if I feel like price action is too weak and slow, I might just have to pass this on Apple, right? I don't want to sit in a slow grinder. If it wasn't for Red Photo News at 9:20, I know Jerome Powell speaking, I wouldn't mind sitting in this, turn it possible into a swing trade because, right, if we hold this level, there's nothing in its way to the upside, right? There's nothing in its way to the upside. Maybe it can target, this previous day high, right, and so on. But see this wick stepping in, right? Sellers are still defending this. This is why I recommend looking at the higher time frame in the intraday when you're trading. All right, look at that. Weak breakout equals fake out, right? I want to see good displacement in a candle closure. Beautiful break and retest here on Tesla. I mean, look, just stair stepping higher, right? Stair stepping higher. That's beautiful. That's exactly what we want to see. Like I said, not looking to take a trade off this, but I would love, just for the sake of market structure, just for us to continue to move higher and close above, right? That's beautiful. Slow grinder here on the video. You can see this channel's holding, right? This is how like I manage my trades that are slow grinders to the upside. Right? You can even do the same thing with Apple, right? Because this can take as long as it needs, right? When you're playing pullback long bounces for higher time frame analysis, right? So got that pullback, right? If you didn't have this channel, that might have scared you out, but we're holding, right? Yeah, most likely a cash day for me, but overall, really good day. Got some good film, right? We broke this down together in real time. You're seeing why I stayed cash, why I didn't take a trade. None of this phased me. This downside didn't phase me. The only thing I wanted to the downside was NVIDIA under the 20 to 450. NVIDIA's in a range, nothing there. AMD's in a range, nothing there. I knew not to short off of this. Clearly, you see why, right? That's why, plan your trade, trade your plan. I knew not to short off this. And look at the recovery we had. Like I said, Apple is still intact to the upside. It is still intact to the upside. See how this 15-minute helps you? Right, look at that. On the intraday, I can only imagine on the 1 minute how this looks like a big breakout. But on the intraday, right? We see the damage, but I mean, look at that. There's sellers sitting up here. Every time we push up, there's sellers, right? This is a weekly level. This is a key level. It's got to be patient here. Look at spot. I mean, that is just beautiful on the spot. Look at that recovery. These are 15-minute candles, 4 in a row. Look at the buyer stepping in here, pushing this thing higher. I mean, the break and retest on these key levels don't get any better. Look at the break and retest here, right here. These are 0 DTEs, bro. These are 100% returns. I mean, look at that. That's gorgeous. That's what you want to see. I was personally looking at the Qs. I never got that pullback to 595, but to the dot, right? To the dot. That's what you want to see. That's great. Look at that. Right? There are sellers sitting up here. Look at that. Looking at that 15-minute helps you avoid trades. It helps you avoid getting faked out. My game really took off a couple years ago when I stopped trading on the 1 minute and I started coming up with my analysis from the higher time frame. And I started looking, at the 15-minute or the 30-minute time frame as well as the 2 minute when I'm trading, right? I always want to get the bigger picture, right? So let's look at the sellers up here. It's crazy. I was looking for a scalp here on Qs, but 0 DTEs, right? I need a deeper pullback. Right? Pullback close enough, but remember your stop loss is down here. So in a 0 DTE, I'm not messing around with that. But SPY was really the one. Perfect break and retest here. You hit a target that high day. So just key levels being respected. That's what you want to see. So hopefully learned a thing or two. I'm pretty much going to call it here. No setups for me, but for the sake of structure, I'm very happy this held. I would love to see for the body of the candle to close above this 184.50. You can see we are trending higher. Market hasn't even been open for a full 2 hours, right? So we can definitely still see that. And then Apple's a slow mover, right? If I would have got this move earlier into the session, for sure. But this moving as slow as it does, like you just don't want to sit in that. Like I said, if we did not have Red Photo News at 9 o'clock my time, I definitely would have taken the shot, but it's just not something I really want to sit in and mess with on Apple. All right, let's break this down one more time. Like Tesla, right? This is my no trade zone anyway. It's going to 1 hour, right? This is a channel. I want to trade in here. Look at this channel. I want to trade in here. Key levels. Let our trades come to us, right? So for the sake of argument, yeah, I just wanted to see Tesla like hold up, right? Look what it did. We see the damage body tells the story. We really only had one, and this was our sell-off day, so I'm not really even counting that. But look at every time price pushes into this 423.15, we hold. Look at that every time. This is a key level, but we are in a channel, right? That's beautiful. That's what you want to see. NVIDIA, we already broke this down, but like I said, right, we'd love to see a body of the candle close, but if we don't, this changes. Now I'm looking for a pullback short off this weekly, for sure. Or tomorrow we can get a break and retest over this weekly as well, and I would take that too because it's a weekly reclaim and we're over the previous day high. It's nice. Slow mover here, unfortunately, but look at this daily. That's what we wanted to see. Unfortunately, we got that sell off at open. I was looking for the body of the candle to form up here, right off the pre-market pen, pull back long. Seems like we're gonna get it. Like, look it down. That's why I said I'm not looking to short this name until we're under 241. Because look at the buyers stepping in here, right? This thing's still intact to the upside. You know, that sell-off day last Friday set us back for sure, but it's still intact. So hopefully, right, get this body of the candle closure above this 247.30, and we can just look for a pullback long off that tomorrow. But some good plays setting up for sure. Some really good plays setting up, at least on the video and Apple. But very happy to see what this overall market has done. Right? I mean, beautiful. Right to key levels, right? This is a big hold, right? Look at that. It's a big hold, right? That's a key level right there. What is that, 654.55? Right? Look at that. That's a beautiful hold there, right? That is exactly what we want to see, right? That's a key level for a reason. Love to see that. I mean, wow. This thing is just ripping, right? That's why you don't chase the morning sell off. Look at that first 15-minute candle, right? Look at that four, right? This wick shows heavy buyers, right? We filled the gap. We reclaimed the previous day low. I mean, this is what you want to see, right? That is beautiful. So Mike Collar here. No trade day for me. Cash is still a position. Proper risk management. Um, Sometimes for most traders, the hardest thing to do is to sit here and do absolutely nothing. But I promise you, that's when you make the most money, right? So we're just letting our plays set up throughout the week. There was nothing yesterday. There was nothing today. Maybe if you got a scalp to the downside, chasing the downside move, it's fine. But let today be a reason why, like, you never really chase, a rally to the upside or downside right off the market open. Never. So, hope you learned a thing or two. But like I said, yeah, coming into tomorrow, we just have, I would say, some key things setting up, right? NVIDIA is definitely going to be on our main watch. Definitely Apple. We can get over this, and we'll see what Red Folder News does at 9 o'clock.